One of the longer operations to perform with matrices is the multiplication of two matrices together. And there's a process here to begin with to even know if two matrices are able to be multiplied together. Now, for matrice addition and subtraction, the two matrices you're trying to combine have to have the exact same dimensions. And that's not true in multiplication. But here's what does need to be true. If I were to list the dimension of this first matrix, 2 rows by 3 columns, and then I were to list the dimensions of this second matrix, 3 rows by 2 columns, these values must be the same. And the fact that these are equal means we can multiply our matrix. So you have to have the same number of columns in the first matrix as rows in the second matrix. The other thing then to be aware of is that the outside, the rows on our matrix 1 and the columns on our matrix 2, this will represent the size of our answer matrix. So our answer matrix will be a 2 by 2. Okay, so that's the first thing to kind of check. They don't have to have the same dimensions, but they do have to have this relationship where columns in one is the same as rows in the other. Now, the way we multiply a matrix is we start by focusing on the first row and the first column. Okay, so first row, first column. And what we do is we create a summation of products, meaning we're going to do 2 times 4, and then 0 times 1, and then we're going to do 3 times 0. And we're going to add those values up. So 2 times 4 is 8. 0 times 1 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So 8 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. This is our first answer. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to stay with that top row, but now we're going to move to column 2 in our second matrix. And we're going to do the yellow to yellow. I'm going to try and color coordinate these like that. And again, we're going to add things up. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 0 times 2 is 0. 3 times 3 is 9. So we end up with negative 2 plus 0 plus 9, which is 7. Now that we have basically almost distributed our top row times both of these columns, so top row, column, column, and created our 2 top row answers, now we're going to move to the second row and repeat. So let's go to our second row. And multiply our second row times our first column. So 1 times 4 is 4. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And 4 times 0 is 0. So I end up with 4 plus negative 1 plus 0, which is 3. And now I move to the bottom row, second column. So we're going to do this. And again, yellow, blue, red. So 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And 4 times 3 is 12. So negative 1 plus negative 2, so we're at negative 3, plus 12 is 9. And this is our answer matrix. So again, there's a lot here. It's methodical, at least. I would start, make your first step to kind of say, well, I'm going to go to the first row, and then first column, and multiply kind of across and down. 2, 0, and 3 get multiplied by 4, 1, 0, respectively. 2 times 4, 0 times 1, 3 times 0. Add those products up. And then that answer goes in that top spot, row 1, column 1. Then move on, stay with the top row, but go to column 2 and repeat, 2 times negative 1, 0 times 2, 3 times 3. Add those products up, and we're still in the top row, but in the second column, so that is why our answer goes here. Then once you've exhausted the top row, move on to the second row and repeat. Multiply those entries in the second row by the entries in the first column. 1 times 4, negative 1 times 1, 4 times 0. Add those products up. That goes in row 2, column 1. And finally, we go to bottom row, second column, 1 times negative 1, negative 2 times 2, 4 times 3. Add those products up, and that goes in our second row, second column entry spot. And that's how we perform matrix multiplication. There's multiplication, and then there's also the sums of those products. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe for more math help.